Hello, everyone. So good to have you in today's InsightSpark webinar. And I'm so excited to have an amazing person in the show today. He's not that person, but Victory Inwang, A.K.A The Design Chef. And I'm super excited to have you. Welcome, Victory Inwang. So good to have you here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So I will just kickstart by reading Victory's profile. Please kindly listen because it's going to help you to get super excited with what you want to do right now. Okay, so Victory Iwan is a professional smartphone graphic designer, photographer, video editor, and mobile technician. He has designed over 1,000 plus flyers with his smartphone. Guys, I said smartphone, and he has made a lot of money from this. He's the lead designer at Creative Design Brand, where he helps brands increase their visibility and perception online and on-site with trendy, eye-catching designs that attract paying audience to such brand. He's also the chieftain at Creative Tribe, a community of creative smartphone graphic designer with over 600 plus creative smartphone designers. That's the people that are in his community. He's the team member at Innovate Africa Community. He's the trainer at PSM Graphic Design Academy, where he trains professional smartphone graphic designers. He has been invited to train and teach individuals at various category on digital skill, and he's also certified by Gotney Leadership Center on his completion from the Leadership Masterclass for Brand and Digital Marketers. Victory Iwan, wow, thank you so much for being here. We're so glad
Thank
to
you.
have you
Thank you for
once
having
again. That was a powerful profile, designing 1,000 plus flyers with just your smartphone. I want to
me.
ask,
Yes,
is it
ma'am.
the
Thank you,
smartphone
ma'am.
that I'm using or under one?
It's the
Wow,
normal
thank you so
smartphone,
much.
Android phone
Wow.
specifically. Thank you,
I
ma'am.
wish you can share your designs. But guys, I'll be dropping his link after this webinar at the comment section. Please just take your
Uh,
time and see some of the things he has done with his smartphone. All right. So today we'll be talking about a very interesting topic. How someone can build a career as a graphic designer. And today we'll be looking at the design chef tips. He'll be telling us some of the things he has experienced, sharing his story with us, and the likes of it. Okay, so Victory, the first question I have here for you is, what actually inspired you to become a graphic designer? Looking at the fact that you were trained as an automobile technician. So how did you get here? Please come, you let us into your story.
all
Wow.
right. So my story is an interesting one, a very, very interesting one. So I graduated
Wow.
in 2019, and for over a year, I was struggling financially. So, unlike many designers out there, I started learning graphic design, and I thought about venturing into the graphic design industry because I
Yeah.
needed money. It was not to help any brand whatsoever. It was my motivation was purely for the money. Yes,
Wow.
thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So different things can inspire one. For Victory, he was just out for the
Mm-hmm.
money and somehow he got himself into a career path. Wow.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
the next question I have for you is, do you think it's best for people to go through like a formal education to learn graphic design, or you advise them to go through the route of self-learning? Which is more better for a prospect that want to learn graphic design?
All right. So, this is a bit controversial because you would find a lot of persons who are self-taught. They probably leverage on YouTube and other free
Yeah.
materials to build themselves as graphic designers. Me, on the other hand, I am a product of different coaches. I have been trained by a lot of professionals in the industry, and I can tell you
Yeah.
that um, just because I submitted under these guys, I am able to buy their years of experience, years of trial
Wow.
and error, and I am just able to buy it in a space of 1 month or 2 months. If you are going through the other route of self-learning, it will take you a whole lot of time before you get exactly what you get because thank God for our guys who are out there on YouTube, on Telegram, organizing free classes and all of that. They are doing amazing stuff, especially putting you in the path and also steering your interest to learning the skill of graphic design. But there are a whole lot they are not able to put out there for free because you as a
True.
person might not even value it. Okay, so I advise people to pay for knowledge. I advise people to submit under the right tutorship or mentorship, the right coaching, as this would help them learn faster. I'm a graphic design coach. I have been able to train over 800 students online, and I can tell you the truth that most of the students come to me not knowing exactly what graphic design is all about. And in the space of
Yeah.
1 month, they start designing for companies, for individuals, and start earning even in different currencies of the world. Thank you, ma'am.
Wow. Just to add to this, I just wanted to know that our current social media manager for one of our brands, that's Oasis Branding Agency, is your student, and she has been doing
Wow.
amazingly well. Amazingly well. Wow. Kudos, Victory. Thank you so much. So I wanted
Thank
to ask how important is a portfolio for a graphic designer, and what should an ideal portfolio contain? I don't know if you got the question. How important is a portfolio to graphic designer?
All right. So a portfolio is very important because majority of the clients that will be coming to you for your service might not
Yeah.
have all the time to go through your social media pages or to even wait for you to send your work one after the other for them to verify if you're the right guy for their job. What the portfolio does for you is to make them or get them convinced, in the shortest time possible that you're the right guy for the job.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everything you do, anywhere your designs are, is your portfolio. I have different
True.
portfolios. My Facebook page is my portfolio. My Instagram page is my portfolio. My WhatsApp catalog is my portfolio. I also have a PDF that contains my work. So my portfolio is everywhere. Sometimes I think 90% of the clients I've worked for never asked for any PDF from me because most of them came from my social media platforms where they saw
They've
my
seen your work.
designs, they've seen my work, and before they come to my DM for my service, they were already convinced that this guy is the right guy for their job. So
Yeah.
a portfolio is important, but as much as that, putting your work out there, scattering it in different platforms is as important as your portfolio. And as such, as you're putting up your work on Facebook, on Instagram, and even on your Google Drive and all of that, you have to do it excellently because your designs are the first ambassador of your brand. And if you put it
True.
out excellently, they will definitely bring you the right clients. Thank you, ma'am.
Wow. Thank you. I just want to divert to ask, does it for one to become like a professional graphic designer, how long does it take? What's the minimum duration? Does the person need to stay in design for like 1 year to become a professional? What do you think? What's your thoughts around it?
All right. So I think for me, what I would say is that mastery is an illusion. So mastery is an illusion. Nobody is actually a master. As in fact, as a matter of fact, the more you keep learning graphic design, the more you see a lot of other stuff you can explore and bring to life.
Sure.
Yes. So what I'm going to say is, who are actually the professionals? The professionals are not really those who does a lot of manipulations and constructions in design. A professional is someone who has so mastered the basics of design,
Yeah.
okay, that they can manipulate, they can do whatsoever they want to do with it. So you see a professional can come, create a white space, and just add a simple text with one color, and is blowing away your mind. He has simply mastered the basic in such a way that he can manipulate it to do whatsoever he wants to do. So we see novice, or should I not call them novice, growing expert on the other hand. We
Yeah.
see them focusing more. They want to learn the tricks, the hacks, the manipulation, and they play down the basics of design. So they register for a class, and maybe the first 1 week the coach is taking his time to explain the basics of design, and they're already in a hurry to start seeing practical videos on how to
Can
add colors
imagine.
to shapes and all of
Yeah.
that. Yes. So simply a professional is one who has so mastered the basics of design, and also he is able to do whatsoever he wants to do on his Canva because he knows his basics. Mastery is an
Yeah.
illusion. You can never get to a point in your life where you say, "Oh, I have mastered graphic design altogether." But you spend time mastering the basics, and then learn the art of modeling. So you model from the big guys, from those guys who have gone way ahead of you, and then you
Yeah.
start doing exactly what they are doing. At every level you are in your graphic design journey, there is a client for you, and there are people who would applaud you and appreciate you for what you do. Thank you.
Wow. So at every level, there's a client for you. I could just remember somebody sharing
Okay.
with me that there was a time whenever he designs like a flyer, people are paying him 500 naira, 1,000.
Yeah,
But today, he
exactly.
has
I
come
also
to
had
that
the
point where people
experience.
pay him more than 15,000 naira to design one flyer and even much more,
Exactly.
right? So it's
Exactly.
just about growth, and you just keep it's so important that you know the basics, like he said. And I think this is applicable to every form of design, both in UI,
Mhm.
US, and all of those things. When you understand the design principle, that makes the work so easy for you as a designer. All right. So I want to know, how did you land your first job? How was it? Did you market yourself? What did you do?
Okay, so my first job, but
Or clients
is it my
in
first paid job?
design? Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's talk about paid.
all right, so I can't really remember my first paid job. I think my first
Okay.
paid job should be it should be a certificate design. I can't really remember the kind of design it was, but my
Yeah.
compensation for that design was 500 naira, and I
Wow.
was so happy. In fact,
Happy.
I was feeling like, you know, I was feeling everything I could feel there.
Wow.
Yes. So,
Wow.
and I think it should be a friend of mine who saw what I was doing and decided to patronize me. Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Guys, the truth is, graphic design has gone to a point where people can pay you millions to design like so many things for them, you
Exactly.
know, brand their whole company and all of those things. So it's a big career, big niche for somebody that wants to go into design if you're really interested in it. So, okay, so I wanted to ask, should a designer specialize in a niche? You know, we have niches like branding, UI, US design, illustration, or is it better for them to be versatile? What do you think? What advice can you give to fellow designers out there?
All right. Simple advice. It's okay to learn different aspects of design. Okay, it's okay to learn product design, flyer design, uh, motion design, animation. It's okay to
Yeah,
learn everything, but you have to be known for something. You have to niche down. The big guys in the game, they know how to do virtually all of this stuff, but they are known for something. You will
sure.
definitely know them for a particular aspect of graphic design. Because the truth is, you can't do everything, but you need everything. Okay, so I'm a graphic designer. I'm also a photographer. I'm a motion designer. I'm a video editor. All of these skills are important, but I am very known as a graphic designer, and that's where I get most of my money from. So you want to focus on a particular niche, build authority, build influence, be known. If they are talking about that particular niche, you should be the first, or your name should be amongst the top guys that will be mentioned in that niche. And that cannot
Yeah,
be possible. And you cannot achieve that if you are everywhere. If you are here today we know you as a product designer. The next day we know you as a motion designer. You will confuse your
yeah,
audience. And a
sure.
confused audience can never buy from you. A confused audience can never buy from you. You want to be great, focus every aspect of design. There is money in every aspect of design, even flyer design. There is serious money in every aspect of design. So focus on building authority. The truth is, if you cannot build authority in one, you cannot build an authority in the next. So
No,
focus
no,
on one, yes, and build authority there. And it is the authority that will bring you the kind of money you want, not the different types of design. The authority you build in a
yeah.
particular niche. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. That's an excellent response. Thank you, Victory.
Mhm.
So, what tool or software do you recommend for aspiring graphic designers, especially for those that want to venture into smartphone graphics? So, let me explain to you what happened someday. I was in a
All
place
right.
and I was telling somebody that there was a training that we held here in
Yeah.
Lagos where people like Victory, I've forgotten his name now. What's his name now?
Stephen Oloyemi.
Yes, Stephen Olayemi and the likes
Yeah.
of Ayomide and myself, we hosted a training
Yeah.
and we had people come in to learn graphic design with smartphone. And I was telling this
Mhm.
guy, because he's also into design, but he does more of system graphics, that people have moved from the point of just designing with laptop to designing amazing designs with
Your
just
smartphone.
their smartphone. So he was like, it's not possible. I told him that even the banner we used was so big that it was print designed with a smartphone and was still printed out. That's the part that people don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
So
true.
I took him to that day. I took him to your page on Facebook. I'm like, do you know this thing was designed with a graphic design and with a smartphone? And he
Wow.
was like, wow, are you sure? So I want to let people that are listening to us to know that a lot has evolved. There are a lot of
That's true.
softwares that people could use and applications to design amazing stuff. So, which I think the question I wanted to ask is, what tools or software do you recommend for aspiring designers, especially for those that are trying to start up, maybe probably their smartphones, they don't have a laptop yet, and the likes of it. What tools do you think you can recommend for them? And please
All right.
have use the time to talk about your academy for those that want to join as well.
All right. So to start with, for the past 4 years, I've been designing with my smartphone only. So every single design you would see on my pages, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, um, I mean, everywhere. I made
Yeah.
them with my smartphone. Okay, and like I mentioned earlier, I've also been able to influence over 800 plus graphic designers to design with their smartphone, and some of them are making quite use sum of money for themselves. Yeah, so it's okay to start with your smartphone. And yeah, with the right coach, with the right mentorship, you can design Photoshop standard designs with your smartphone. I mean, most of my clients do not even know that I design with a smartphone because of the kinds of effects, manipulation, and I teach my students exactly what I do with this.
Yeah.
Um, the right tools to start with, and I recommend to anybody who have a smartphone, is Pixel app. And now, listen, I'm going to tell you two powerful truths that is going to change your life. If you have ever been interested in graphic design, you need to hear this. Number one, I need you to know that if you can design one thing, you can design anything. If you can draw
Yeah.
anything on paper, you can design. Anybody can become a graphic designer. And with the right mentorship, you are good to go. In February 2025, I'm going to be holding the hands of 200 plus graphic designers, and I'm going to be teaching them or taking them on a journey to becoming professional graphic designers in 1 month, and helping them to make some serious monies for themselves. You can go on
Wow.
Facebook to verify. The
Guys, take
testimonies
note
never
of this.
the testimony never ends. Yeah.
And I'm
Now
seeing at the
there's
comment section people that, which is sorry to interrupt, I'm seeing at the comment section some people are some persons are saying Pizza Lab team. So there are people that are actually concurring to what we are sharing here. Thank you guys. Yeah, so please go
exactly.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so uh, starting with your smartphone is okay. I mean, yeah, there is, before now we used to have this fight between PC users and smartphone users, PC users claiming that they do better than people who design with their smartphone. But thank God for people like us who have changed the narrative. I mean, you can hardly
Yeah.
hear such kinds of arguments online. And it's okay to start with your smartphone, and you can make millions with your smartphone before transitioning into designing with a PC. Soon I'm going to be transitioning, and in my transition, I guess you might not even know. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So thank you so much for that insight. So guys, if you want to learn how to design with a smartphone, please just feel free to reach out to Victory. Okay, so moving on, I wanted to ask, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced early in your career and how did you overcome them, especially in the aspect of graphic design?
Okay. Then I have to think, because I don't really think I had so much of a challenge. I think the only challenge I had,
Yeah.
especially starting out, was the kind of device I used. My phone was terrible. I mean, it was not up to a 1 gigabyte RAM, and so I have to be deleting. If I finish creating a design and I submit it, I may have to just delete it so that I have space to create more. The screen was
Yeah.
broken and scattered. Nowadays when I see people complain that they don't have a good phone and that's why they are not starting, it's not true. My phone was worst. I mean, for me to type a particular word, I might have to turn it again and again, to finish typing just one word. And a design that could take me 30 minutes to 1 hour on my new device, on my device right now, took me
Mm-hmm.
5 hours day to create. So in a day, I couldn't create more
Wow.
than two design in one day. Okay, and it was always making me have issues with some of my clients because I was not meeting their deadlines and all of that. Um, there was some effect I was not able to do, even though I knew them, because my phone storage would not allow me to, even try such such kinds of effect. And some of you know, if you're a graphic designer, apps like Photopea was an issue for me to use because my phone would not accept Photopea, Photo Room, PixArt, and most of those sophisticated applications we use on our smartphone. But thank God, as I kept improving, I was able to afford some of the kinds of devices
Yeah.
I needed, and it made my work easier for me and all. So my advice to any graphic designer who thinks he is limited is, you are not limited. Start with what you have and go.
Mm-hmm.
As you go, you grow. Okay, as you grow, you grow.
Yeah.
With time, you will be able to buy devices that is going to help you do better and even become more effective. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Victory. That's awesome. Okay, so how do you deal with creative block or burnout? Because I know this is one common thing we as designers face. So how do you deal with
Yeah.
that?
Okay. So creative block, you know, I came to discover that creative block is we create creative block for ourselves, and I'm going to explain that.
Okay.
Um, I also came to discover that it is abnormal for a graphic designer to experience creative block. Now, this is some of the reasons why designers, especially, face creative block. It is either there are five processes of design. If you need to start design, the first one is understanding your design brief. Number two is research. Number three is thinking on paper. Number four is going to your design application and executing what you have on paper. And then number five is enhancing your design, and then you push it to your client. But why some graphic designers will always encounter creative block is they skip number one, process number one, number two, and number three, and you are heading straight away to number four. And so when you have not taken your time to understand your design brief, design is psychological. Design is
Yeah.
involves a lot of emotions. So you do not understand your design brief. You don't make your research. You've not spent some time making your research. You've not spent some time thinking. As a graphic designer, you think more than you create. Sometimes you might
Yeah.
spend 18 hours thinking on a particular design before executing it, and execution might now take you maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Now, designers skip the three most important process and they are heading away to the fourth one. And so
Designing.
and so they get to experience creative block. Secondly, graphic designers hardly sleep. 2 a.m. they are claiming to work, but they are on Facebook watching skits and all of that. They have a lot of things, taking their time, and they are stressed up. And you want to create a design, you cannot create something you would really force yourself to create something outstanding when you are stressed up. And the next reason why designers face creative block is that they don't work on time. So you have given your client a deadline, maybe 2 to 3 days deadline, and you are starting the design 1 hour to when he has come to remind you about the design. So you
That's totally
definitely
right.
experience,
Yeah.
yes, you definitely experience creative block.
A
The
burnout.
last point, yes, the last point why designers face creative block is they collect several jobs. One designer is collecting 8 design in a single day and is working with a tight deadline as well. So you have a lot of jobs to execute in in a little time. You will definitely experience creative block. So what is
Yeah.
going to help you, number one, is to set systems and structure. So you can give your client maybe 2 days, 3 days interval to deliver their design, and start your thinking process on time. Okay. Number two, follow the design processes. Don't skip research. Research is very, very important. It's an important point in your design journey. So do not skip that point. Number three, rest well. Sometimes you see designers, they make quite a lot of money, but you always see them drinking nutri milk and bread all the time. They don't eat well, they don't take themselves out for treats, they don't relax and all of that. They always look stressed up and all of that. As a designer, spend a lot of time sleeping and resting. Sometimes I tell my clients, see, I cannot finish this design today. I have to sleep, and I
Mm.
just go to sleep and all of that because it is important. If I don't rest well, I might not be able to come up with something with a masterpiece. You know, I might not be able to cook.
You
All right, as the
may
chef,
not, may not be able to cook
So
well as a chef that you are, the design chef
exactly.
himself.
So I take my time to rest. And now the last point, and this is very, very important. Study designs. Do not wait until you have a real job before you go making your research. I study design concepts, layout, patterns every single day on my phone. I have different mood boards on my phone. I have different folders where I do consistent study. I can deliver a design in 30 minutes. I can deliver a design in 20 minutes because consistently there is what we call creative bank. So your mind is your creative bank. So
Yeah.
you consistently feed on great designs. You now a graphic designer does not see a design like a normal person. So a normal person will see a particular design and just say, "Oh, it's nice." No, that's not what we do. We spend time looking. So if we see a particular flyer, now this is as common as this charger. It has some write-ups,
Mm.
Infinix charger. Now, as you are looking at this, we are trying to imagine what kind of typography is being used here. So what kind of layout? You see
Alignments.
the exactly the alignment and everything. It speaks to us as designers. So we don't just look at this and then look away from it. We study and then probably I might have taken one or two concepts from this and it's in my head. So if I'm under pressure to deliver a particular design and I still have to maintain excellence, I am I am more than ready to bring out what is already in my mind and then put it to work. So study your phone should be filled with different designs from people you look up to. So gather their designs, study it, practice with it. Okay. You can even create different concepts and store them in your phone. When someone comes to you with a design brief, you take that design brief and then you tweak it with an original design, and you already have everything all figured out. So designers should do well in the aspect of research, development, conceptualization, and ideation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. So I just want to add, I know it's not out of place to say that another thing that can help us as designers is getting the Holy Spirit involved, praying. Because there's this
Exactly.
part of inspiration that when you cook these things, some persons are wondering, like, where is this coming from? And there's something about
Exactly.
design that when you come up with your design and people are wondering, have I seen this design somewhere? They're not so
Mhm,
sure, but because
mhm.
there's something attracting them about this design, an excellent touch in it and
Yeah.
all of that. So there is this creative power that we also have when we pray to God to inspire us to come up with some of our designs. Awesome one, Victory. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
So to quickly add to that,
Yeah.
this is what works, and it has worked for. I've had several interactions with some of my guys, and it always works. You need to create the right environment for your design. As a designer, there are two things you should have very important. There are a lot of other things you should have, but there are two very important. Number one, if you cannot afford a earpod, a earpiece, or an MP3 player, when you are designing, set an atmosphere of worship. Okay, especially if you're a Christian designer. So set an atmosphere of worship, and then sometimes you can be designing and be speaking in tongues. That is what we actually call cooking. You cook a very simple design and people are seeing it and they are shouting, "Wow, this is it." Okay, they do not know that that design was from the throne room, from the holy place.
Yeah.
What call it. So set the right environment. You cannot be listening to some kind of carnal music and shaking your head and you're making design and you think it's design is, graphic design is a ministry. It's not just a skill. Thank you so much,
Damn,
man.
damn. Wow. 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 He's just the best
Thank you.
inspiration and inspirer that we can have, the Holy Spirit. Yeah. Thank you so much for adding to that. Quickly before we wrap up, let me ask the few questions we have here. So we'll just run through it. Okay.
Uh,
So how important is networking in this field? And what tips do you have for building connections?
Badgey, networking is important.
Yeah.
Networking is super important. I, yeah. So if you ask two designers, one is a designer who always likes staying indoors. does not like socializing, and we have the other one who loves socializing. You will see that there are different between the both of them. One might be indoors making money, but might not even know the right use of his money, while the other
True.
is effective. Yeah. So networking is super important. I mean, uh, you need to build the right cycle. You need to belong to the right cycle, and you have to be intentional about it. Because if you are not networking, you are not collaborating. If you are not collaborating, you would end up competing. At the top, there is no competition. At the top is collaboration, and you need collaboration in any skill, in any niche you are into. You need collaboration. So networking is super important. Who you know matters. Who knows you matters as well.
Matters a
So
lot.
exactly. So you need to get as many persons to know you, and you need to also know as many persons. So you don't say, "I'm see." Is networking is deeper. Having somebody's contact does not need to, it does not mean you have networked or you've connected with
True.
that person. Yeah, you can have their numbers, but you might not have their contacts. It's two different things. So it is not just enough that you know someone. So let's say, yeah, I know a particular, maybe a particular public figure. I know this person. You might have even taken picture with that person, but the
Pictures.
person does not
Yeah.
know you. Yeah, so you go about posting a picture and making noise with it, but the person obviously does not know you. So you are only setting yourself up because when people see you snapping picture with a particular person, they feel, oh, this person is up to this connection, and then maybe when you are being checked, that person does not know you. You don't have access to that person. So networking is very, very important. There are five category of persons you should network with, and I'm going to run through it very quickly. Number one are your seniors. These are people your coaches are looking up to. The people who are directly mentoring you are looking up to. They are your seniors. And these guys, if anything takes you to them and you get to connect with these persons, you will make progress. You make serious progress in less than no time. And now the way you connect with this category of persons is quite different from the way you connect with your seniors, that's your coaches. Now
Yeah.
you would need to be to have a lot of value, and you need to be a valuable person to sustain your relationship with your seniors, because for them to even look your way, they have a lot of person pressing on them every day. For them to look your way, you have to be valuable. you know Gentiles will come to your light, but kings
Yeah.
kings, they are
Okay.
not. When they see your light, they just say, okay. They are still looking at you, they are still observing you. What brings them to you is your rising. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to have a certain level of value, and you have to be a valuable person for you to be able to sustain your relationship with them. If you go to them when you are not valuable, you might have a one-off contact, and they might never give you access anymore. All right. So you have to build yourself to a point where you have what they need. All right. This year I have collaborated with some of the biggest guys that in 2020 I was always, in fact, they were my idol in 2020 and all of that. But this year they reached out to me themselves, to collaborate with me. Imagine that, because they perceive that I have something they need. So you have to build your skills, build yourself to that point where these guys can see you like someone who can also offer help to them, and then you can sustain your relationship with them. And now this is it. In sustaining your relationship with them, do not abuse access, because you now have access to communicate with them all the time. You don't just go to their inbox all the time. You don't just go to, send them random messages. You don't just do such. You respect their boundaries. You only go to them when it is important, and you don't go to their DM and you're typing hi or hello and waiting for their response. They don't have that time to now start, hi, how are you doing? Have you eaten? No, they don't have that time. You hit their DM and you go straight to the point. Exactly. You go straight to the point. How to sustain your relationship with them? From time to time, give them shout outs, gifts, and all of that. They don't need big gifts. Sometimes it's something that's very little. They just want to see that you're wise. Just want to see that
Yeah.
you appreciate the effort they are making or they are contributing to your life. The next category of persons you need to connect with are your seniors, your coach, your coaches, your mentors. This is very important. Now, it is one thing to be in their general mentorship. I like I said, I've trained over 800 plus students. There are some of these students I don't even remember their names or their face, because there was not level of relationship. So they registered for class. Some of them even hardly showed up for classes. They just consumed the materials and they are off. No, it is important that you connect with your coaches because yeah, with that you can get access to some of the offers they sell to other persons for free. You can easily get access. There are some of my mentees that as I'm talking to my friends, I can just say, "Oh, this my guy is good, though." Just because they have this a certain level of relationship with. Just like one of our
Recommendation.
designers, exactly. Just like one of my designer that is working for your brand right now. It is because she maintained a certain level of relationship from time to time. She reached out, she shares her progress with me and all of that, and I can totally say, okay, I recommend this person to your brand, and I have done so for quite a lot of them. Okay, and that is one of the benefits you have when you're relating your with your senior, that's your coaches and all of that. Let them know you. And one of the ways to sustain your relationship with them is let them pick them up on your progress. And what do I mean? As you keep making
Update
progress,
them.
go back to
Yeah.
them, update them, give them feedbacks. They love to hear those stuff. They love to hear that, oh, you bought their courses and it is really helping you. It is helping you to make progress and all of that. You know, and do not abuse assets. From time to time, celebrate them. Let other persons know that uh, it was let other persons know that this guy is a partner and all of that. That's one of the simplest way to sustain your relationship with them. The next category of persons you need to take your relationship serious with is your contemporary. Look out for people that are in the same category with you. And the easiest way to find out that is pay for access. Sometimes I buy courses, I register for training, not because I necessarily need the knowledge, but because of the category of persons there that I want to connect with. And as long as you're in the same platform with them, they start considering you as
Part of
contemporaries.
them. Yeah.
Yes. And when you register for training, when you join platforms, don't be quiet. In in the online space, the audacious will always win the gifted or the professionals. It is those persons that are loud, audacious that always win. So when you register and you pay your way into those kinds of platforms, make noise. By all means, get attention. Now, when you are getting attention, instead of it saves you the stress of going out to meet them to connect with them. They come to you. Okay, and when they come to you, you value their relationship, you help them. So at that point, sometimes I put out my for my friends, I put out their offers on my Facebook page and my WhatsApp status for free without charging anything. But on a regular, I would normally charge between 5,000 to 10,000 just to put your offer on my status for 24 hours. You see, so I do that for free for them. And guess what? Whenever I'm in their need, they don't charge me to do some things for me. They do it for free. If you have to pay for anything, or if you have to always pay for everything, you are poor.
Sure.
You do not know how to build relationship. So build relationship with your seniors, your contemporaries. Now the next category of persons you need to take very seriously are your juniors. These are your disciples. They are the ones that would always be going to blow your trumpet. The design chef, and more persons are coming to know you. They are like a Samaritan woman that will run into the village and say, "Come and
Come
see
and see.
a man who ever told me all that I have ever done. Could this be the Messiah?" They are the ones who are going to make the loud announcements for you for free. These places, they are going to make consistent publicity about your brand without charging you a dime. Take them seriously. Some of them, they will see, you need to know this. They will not always be your juniors. If they know what you know, they will rise to the same level you are. And as such, you have
Exactly.
to value them and value your relationship with them. Okay, value them and value. There are some of my students who today they are no longer students, but we are friends. Okay, um, and as such, you discover that you are building a community. Mark Zuckerberg said everyone should build their community. Everybody should build their connection before they meet them. So from time to time, reach out to them. Try to see if they are making progress. Try to see how you can help. They never forget. Your juniors, they never forget. you know. And the last category of persons are your juniors. These are the people you are coaching. They are the juniors are the people who are looking up to them. So the people who are looking up to the people you are training. or you are coaching or you're mentoring. They're your juniors. These ones, if you even reply their messages on WhatsApp, they go
You're
screaming.
excited.
Yes, if you even view their status, they post it everywhere. Ah, Mrs. Charity viewed my status and all of that. This is it. These are your juniors. And guess what? It is important. How do you relate with them? These are the people you should allow to flex your free materials, learn from your free
Yeah.
materials, get better. You guide them away from their ignorance, and because if they know as much as you do, they wouldn't have been in that level they are. So networking is very, very important. So a simple tip on how I network. For you to be big on networking, number one, you have to be a valuable person. You have to be a valuable person. Value is simple. Know something. If you know something and you know as much as you should, you become a valuable person. If people can learn from you, you are an influencer. An influencer is not necessarily someone with a large number of followers. An influencer is someone who influences people's decision either positively or negatively. So know something. People would easily relate with you when they discover that you know something. So, and number two, let people enjoy what you know. So share. Okay, that is why content creation is powerful. Share what you know. Maximize your platform to share. Okay, on my Facebook I create at least it's just that this period I've been very, very occupied, but I create at least 10 to 15 posts every day on Facebook, cutting across content that educates, motivate, entertain, engage, and all of that. So create, share your knowledge. If you learn something and it has become part of you, share. That could be all what some other person needs. You know. And with that,
Yeah.
you start attracting some kinds of persons to come to you, to want to connect with you, to want to become friends with you. And it's super important. Number two, don't always be indoors, especially for freelancers. Go out for events. I attend events, especially important ones. As long as I know that I am going to benefit from that event, I go for events. And this is my simple hack. I don't go for events dressing simple. I plan my dressing, especially because you do not have all the time to create an impression. You want to create a very powerful impression, especially of a powerful personal brand at a glance.
Yeah.
So let people see you and they just want to come around you. You should be able to talk to people, and people start perceiving that this person is, even without saying so
That's
much,
value.
they already start
Yeah.
perceiving you as someone who is valuable and all of that. So you dress well, you dress neat, and you smell nice. Very powerful tips for me, and it gives you the confidence to talk to any category of person. Okay, so I go for events, and before leaving any events, I've connected, or network with about 20 to 25 persons. And now this is the thing. Sometimes people go for events and then they connect with these persons, they collect numbers, and they never get to chat them up or call them. It's wrong. Once immediately you come back for events, in the next 24 hours, you should be able to send them a message saying, "Oh, we connected at such an event, blah blah blah. Looking forward to a profitable relationship and all of that." From time to time, you respond to their status, you reach out to check just once in a while. Don't do this. Don't do this. Disclaimer: don't do this. You see people who, once they connect with you, collect your number, they are adding you to broadcast list, and maybe every first of every month they go and copy some other person's message and they are putting it
You
on a
send it
broadcast
to.
list. 150 person are getting the same message. It does not make sense. It does not make sense. People start thinking you are small when you start doing stuff like that. So go for events,
Yeah.
connect, and all of that.
No,
The
thank
third
you so
point,
much.
and this is my
Okay.
last point. When
Okay.
you join groups, like I think I mentioned this earlier, make so much noise and always be active on that group. People start seeing you as an authority
Intelligent noise.
automatically.
Yeah.
Exactly, intelligent noise, exactly. So people start seeing you as an authority, and you would be surprised before the end of that training, people are already reaching out to your DM by themselves to connect with you. That's my own tip. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. So if you have your jotter by now, it should be full. because that was so insightful.
Yes, ma'am.
And some of the things he discussed now can actually be applied to other areas of our lives when it has to do with networking and building solid relationships and the likes of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we have just two more questions, but please, if you can just speak to it briefly so that we can
All
wrap
right.
it up. I wanted to know what do you advise other graphic designers when it has to do with handling difficult clients or projects that don't align with their style? Some persons will just come in and say, "Oh, just design it this way," but they don't understand some things about probably the
Yeah.
design principles and some of the things as a professional. So how do you speak to those people? Just in a jiffy.
Okay. All right. So every designer will always have to deal with a difficult client. So one of the ways I'm going to be really, really fast on this. One of the ways to avoid that is to have your brand policy. If you present your brand policy before accepting their jobs, there is no way you're going to be having a lot of problems. In my brand policy number one, it says that before I commence your job, you pay 100% upfront. For some persons, it might not work for you. It might be 50% and all of that. Number two, if you correct your design for more than two times, you have to pay the original price for me to make the correction the third time. That means you provide all the details. You see, some clients, in fact, even had to deal with one today. They will send you some details and you spend time, you finish all the design, and they will now bring some details from where they were hiding it from for you to add. Mm-mm. So my design policy says that you send all your design, your details, your samples, everything before we commence your job. Okay.
Wow.
My design policy also state that you are not entitled to any other design apart from the one you paid for. Okay. So you can't, after finishing a particular design, you can't say, I don't like this one, do another one. Mm-mm, it does not exist. Okay. So you, before you come to me, you must have believed that this person is the right person to handle your job. So your brand policy is super important. Secondly, you need to have your design package. And thirdly, you need to have your price list. If you have these three powerful stuff and you present it to any client, I don't see how you should be having issues. There are some clients that are clients from hell, we call them that. No matter how well branded you are, they will still be having issues with you. For those clients, you avoid them. All clients are not your clients. So you know your clients. Okay, so have your design package, have everything. And if you need guidance on how to get that, I have my Black Friday offer is still going on. I have some premium recordings that takes you through the business of design, how to create your brand packages, your brand policy, and all of that. And it's ending in the next 10 hours from now. So you can
So
reach out.
guys,
It is
go get
just for
it. Go
1,000
get
naira.
it. Go get it. Just for
Just for
1,000
one
naira.
1,000 naira.
Uh,
Yes.
all right. Thank you
And
so
then
much, Victory.
yes, and then to wrap up, you see some clients who they are always complaining on the of you finish doing a particular stuff and they are saying they do not like the concept and they are explaining the concept they want for you. See, for those kinds of clients, do what they want, but do not post the work as don't even post the work and all of
Fully.
that. So just do what they want and all of that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I know that if we say we want to stop here, we've learned a lot. This is such an impactful
Yeah.
section. Please just do us a favor by liking, subscribing, and sharing this. Let it go viral so that people can learn from what we've discussed today. I want to say thank you so much,
Mhm.
Victory Iwang, for being here. Thank you for joining today's Insight Spark 2.0. It's been amazing. So if you missed the other one,
Yeah.
the 1.0, please feel free to go back and watch it and kindly subscribe to this channel. So I would like to have you once again here. I know this is not the last. I want to say thank you for sparing the time to be here. It's such an
Thank you
amazing
so
moment.
much.
Once again, thanks everyone who has been commenting and those that will still watch. Do have a nice evening. And once again, we're glad you're here. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. And to our audience watching us tonight, I want to say I love you all and there is nothing you can do about
There's nothing they can do
it.
about it.
Happy New Year
Wow.
in
Thank
advance.
you. Yeah. Happy New
Yeah.
Year. Thank you, Victory. Take care of you. Bye.
Bye. Bye now.